It's a strange day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has made a weird and terrible decision regarding secret lairs. On top of that, we have the brand new Silver Black Lotus to talk about, and some really cool cards to look at as well.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for a cram-packed installment of Mega Magic News. We are doing a mega roundup. I've got a whole page of things to talk about. We've got smaller items, but the big ticket item today is Wizards of the Coast terrible decision surrounding secret lairs. So let's dive in with that. Before we talk about the meat of the secret lair problem, let's talk about a little appetizer, because Wizards of the Coast has some shipping notifications and errors that are going on around secret lairs, but for once, one of them is positive. So on the negative side of things, you have secret lairs that were meant to go to China that have somehow ended up in North America. And obviously Wizards is just going to need to ship more of them out to sort that out. But that's the first time that that has happened. And at the same time, hold on, let me double check the dates on this. The Littlest Walker secret lair has been shifted forwards. So there were delays saying it wasn't going to come out until like March 1st of 2024, but now some people have actually received shipping announcements saying they're getting them, but it's only in certain parts of the world, so it might not be over in Europe. It's not clear whether everybody is having this happen, but either way, some of these secret lairs are being shifted ahead by a number of months, although that's one that was already delayed. So it's basically just less of a delay. So I don't know if you can really call that positive news, but let's move into the huge mistake that they are making with the secret lairs now. Take a look at this, my friends. This is Sylvan Ranger. This is one of the new wave of bonus cards that Wizards of the Coast is including in the newest secret lairs. Now, secret lairs are already struggling, right? Because Wizards of the Coast has really kind of run the well half dry on it at least. And the bonus cards where you get some of the Zazzle. So apparently what they're doing here, same concept they did with the slivers, where they went, yo, people love slivers, let's do a bunch of extended bordered slivers and get them out to the people. So they're turning around and doing the same concept with elves, where we're seeing multiple instances of extended bordered elves. And this is the newest one, Sylvan Ranger. Look at how awful this is, especially by today's standards. 1 green and 1 for a 1/1 that when it comes into play, you get to go through your deck for a basic land, put it into your hand, right? For 2 mana. In today's world, this is nothing, right? And so if you look at it from the older scale of things, it's also nothing. No elf player wants this. If you go and look at the comments of people talking about this, they're all just going, bro, I love elves and I want elves. And even I don't want this. And Wizards did this before with slivers, but slivers are a very special beast, right? Like when Wizards made a sliver commander deck, that thing got a huge premium because people love slivers and stampeded towards it. When they do something like a tribal elf deck, it doesn't have nearly the same resonance. On top of that, there are way more elves in Magic, and Wizards can't help themselves. So they're going to do a bunch of these that dilute the value of the secret lair brand even further. Now, they know how to not do this because I have some other secret lair cards to show you. Take a look at this Relentless Rat and this Persistent Petitioner, okay? These are also made as secret lair bonus cards. It's almost like Wizards wants to play a game where you can go, oops, you got the jank elf, and then once in a blue moon, you get one of these special alternate edition Persistent Petitioners or Relentless Rats. Think about the difference between that Ranger that I just showed you and either of these. Either of these can go into a deck that uses sometimes up to 40 copies of the card. So there's always going to be demand and interest for these. On top of that, they have incredibly unique artwork. Look at them. Even aside from each other, they're incredibly distinct. They have two very different visual styles. So these are desirable secret lair bonus cards. And understand, it costs Wizards nothing to print these bonus cards. Not the ones I'm showing on the screen now, but the Sylvan Ranger. They already own the artwork for that. They just extended it out. That wasn't even originally meant to be an extended artwork. It does not look amazing. So what they're doing is revisiting the same concept as when they thought, yo, why don't we give out foil jumpstart basic lands as the bonus card, not realizing, yo, people are gonna hate this. If this wasn't intentionally done to make some secret layers a wah feeling, then I don't know what they were thinking. And I don't know why they would even want to try and turn the bonus card into a bad feel. It should be a good feel or a better feel. It should never be a bad feel on the level of, I'm even an elf player and I wouldn't use this, right? So this is a huge mistake to be making with Secret Lair at this juncture when Secret Lair is already struggling, and the best thing they can come up with to sell the new Secret Lairs is, we've been saving the best for now. And it's like, but you're still gonna be, you're saving the best for last style mentality, but you're still going for years. Get out of it. Get out of it, right? So you've got that situation going on with the secret lairs. Now, I mentioned we've got the silver black Lotus. Now, this is a special coin. Check this out. I'm actually going to show you a much more up close, better version of this than me holding it this way, because this thing is incredibly epic. Now, I was sent this free of charge, but I have not been paid to review it. I was just asked to show it to you guys. I am already an enthusiast of silver coins like this. You guys know that because in the past I showed you my Jace silver coin, and I got that before I even started doing YouTube. But I have to say, this coin blows that one away. My other coin is only 1 ounce of silver. This fat boy is 2 ounces of silver, and it's a $5 coin, and they're limited to less than 500 of them, even less now that I've got one of them. This thing looks incredible. The lifted raised petals of the black Lotus, the little symbols indicating the 5 colors of magic. I love everything about this. And as an added bonus, my friends, remember, if the apocalypse comes, you can trade coins for women and meat. So this is a useful item to have. And there are already other websites out there trying to pretend like they have these coins. So they're going on sale in a couple of days. If you want to make sure that you can get one from the proper website, then use my link down in the comments section, all right? And you will be able to avoid anybody who's trying to slide you a fast one and not give you the real deal. And on top of that, I also get a commission from any coins that are grabbed using that link. But ultimately, this coin looks incredible. It's a fantastic way to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. And I love the way the actual box on top of it is a fantastic display piece that you can stand upright on your shelf and admire at your leisure. So I really appreciate just being sent one of these. It's pretty sweet being the Magic historian. Now, let's move on to the next news item. I want to talk about the change that Play Boosters is making to card design overall. We've touched on this before. So what's happening is we're gonna have fewer commons in Magic sets going forward. You're only gonna have 80 instead of 100. This necessitates design changes. So we're gonna have a pushing up of power in multiple ways. Cards are gonna be stronger, but more commons are going to become modal. So expect way more common cards to give you multiple options per card. 2, 3, maybe even 4 different options of things you can do. And we've already seen cards like this making inroads in previous sets as early as like Throne of Eldraine, or maybe even a little bit before that. So this is not something that's particularly new, but we're going to see a marked increase in it, according to Mark Rosewater, right? Next item I have on the list is another thing that came from Mark Rosewater, and that is March of the Machine actually scored the worst internally of all Magic sets they've ever made. They have a whole bunch of different scoring metrics that they use to score how sets do, and apparently Aftermath has the worst scores across the board. Maybe not in every single category, but to the point where it's literally ranked the worst release. And that's good. Wizards needs to learn a lesson, because Aftermath really did just feel like they took March of the Machine, peeled part of the set off, and went, what if we just didn't give them the whole set? And then sold them a bunch of stuff afterwards. And it was billed as like, you're gonna get the follow-up story. You're gonna get to see what happened afterwards. And then we didn't, right? Like now each time as we visit the worlds, like when we go to Ixalan, we find out, oh, here's how you dealt with the Phyrexians. And when we just went to Ravnica, where we're going right now, with the murders at Karlov Manor, if you hadn't seen the lore for that, by the way, I put out the first video talking about all the characters who are at the mansion, what's going down. So if you want to know the down low on that story, you can check that out over on Fantasy Geographic, and I'll leave that at the end of the video. But we didn't really get to find out in the Aftermath set how Ravnica survived against the Phyrexians, right? We just got random cards in there. We didn't find out until the story, oh, this is how they survived the Phyrexian invasion. So if you want to know how, go check out that story, right? So ultimately, Aftermath was a failure of a set, and Wizards of the Coast has learned from that. Now, let's talk about something that people are actually going to be interested in, and that's Ravnica Remastered. I just want to take a moment to really appreciate this Cyclonic Rift. Like, the artwork on this is absolutely incredible, and the way it ties into the flavor of the card and the old school border, when you put it all together, I just genuinely want to take a moment for some Magic appreciation before we talk about another brand new Magic card that's not a reprint. This artwork, right, the idea behind Cyclonic Rift is it's so powerful, you can basically pull almost everything in existence into this rift and just back out into the aether, punk. You got to summon them back. That is such a cool concept. And so you have this crazy artifact that's going off that looks like it's unmaking everything. That is incredibly epic Cyclonic Rift flavor. So I definitely dig this as a reprint. Now, I want to talk about a card from the brand new Secret Lair 60th anniversary for Doctor Who. It's the Meep. This thing is crazy. 1 black and 2 for a 0/4. And when you look at it initially, you're like, okay, it's just some kind of fuzzy little happy guy. It actually makes me think of the lemur back from Ice Age days. Like, how much damage could this guy even do? And then you go, wait, okay, it's got ward where you pay 3 life. Okay, well, that's a decent little protective ability. And then whenever he attacks, you can sack a creature, and when you do, all your guys get +X, where X is the casting cost of the creature that you sacrificed. So you can just put out whatever creatures you want that have some nice enter the battlefield style ability. And then after you've done that, you can just feed them to the Meep. Like, on the surface, this is just a fun little, oh, hey, look at me, I'm not that harmful. And then all of a sudden, squad, come in. And then you look and go, wait a minute, this guy's legendary? Like, I was very confused when I saw this. Most of the things that I've seen surrounding Doctor Who seem a little more straightforward. So I looked into the background of this, and apparently this is Beep the Meep. He is the leader of the Meeps, and the Meeps are a scientifically advanced race, but due to some kind of mutation, black sun energy, black hole sun from Soundgarden, whatever it is, something happened that mutated them into bloodthirsty conquerors, and none was more bloodthirsty than Beep the Meep, their leader. So basically, he is a conqueror, and he set out for intergalactic domination, but all of his people got wiped out, and he's the only survivor as far as I understand it. So he crash lands on Earth and tries to control, I think, kids into helping him rebuild his spaceship. So he is this overlord who's bent on world domination, who's trapped in this goofy, furry little body, and it's just such a fun little contrast. And if you take a look at the concept of the card, you go, okay, you know what, you look at him all by himself, he's 0/4, he's kind of innocuous, but then the sacrifice any of your allies for a massive power boost and boosting your other guys, it does feel like something that some hardcore emperor would have. And normally when you have some sacrifice them for my good, crush my enemies, you have some kind of giant warlord or some kind of otherworldly otherworldly specter, not a happy little almost Ewok looking goof boy, right? Like this is hilarious. So I thought it would be fun to end off with him. If you haven't already checked out the Murders at Markov Manor lore, go ahead and check that out now so you are up to speed on what's going on. Big thank you to all my patrons for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.